Okay. Thank you, Greg, for the opportunity to speak to everybody. Um, as Greg explained, I'm a former student of his. I guess the word my professor would use is a scholar. um, I didn't start out. My plans, um, just like everyone else's plans, you know, don't always go as planned or as you think they are. When I graduated, I guess you would say probably about 9 years ago, um, this was not the direction that I wanted to go in. I was thinking that my only career options were customer service. College was not even a possibility on my mind. I moved around a lot, trying to find where I belonged, where I fit. About 2 years ago, I resettled in Jacksonville and took Greg's class. And when I first started his class, I barely said a word at all. Um, I started college August of 2013 with the hopes of working in the paralegal field. I realized about halfway through the semester that while I liked that field, that wasn't where my heart was. So I switched my degree to early childhood special education. Um, I'm in my, let's see, let me think about this. I want to say my completing maybe my fifth semester, I think. I'm trying to do the math in my head. Um, College has been an awesome experience. When I first started college, there were still those doubts. There was still the issue of confidence. Some of the advice that I can give you if you're thinking about going back to college or if you're already in college is make sure you have that foundation. Make sure that you build that support system because any type of goal, especially if it's a large school like college or looking for employment, you never think that you have to do it alone. Um, you know, use the um, services through iLab. You know, network with your professors because some of them will be some of your teachers will be your best mentors. I have had quite a few instructors and staff around this college who have been awesome and huge inspirations in my success. Um, I will graduate hopefully with my AA degree in spring of 2016. And then I still have to go into the bachelor's program and get my teaching degree. Last year, I ended up with a job purely on accident. Um, as you all know, I'm visually impaired like you. I also have a number of other disabilities that are not as visible. Um, I wear hearing aids in both ears, um, making college a challenge, but I have managed through my self-advocacy and my determination, I have managed to work through a lot of my obstacles through technology and just figuring out what works and what does not. Um, I work for a program called the National Deafblind Equipment Distribution Program. Actually, that's one of my two jobs. This program provides communication equipment, access to communication equipment for children and adults who are deafblind, meaning we provide iPhones, iPads, computers, desktops, laptops, braille displays, whatever the deafblind individual needs to stay in contact with the outside world. And I applied for the program myself to get a phone. I'm one of these individuals who said I would never touch an iPhone. Never, 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 never. I got my iPhone, and it's my lifeline. I do my email. Look I can look at my GPS when I'm on the way to school and say, hey, I'm over on Bay Meadows. I'm going to be late. Whatever it is. That was in February of last year. August of last year, 2014, I received an email stating that the program was looking for another assessor and trainer for, I guess, the Northeast region. Um, Jacksonville, Daytona, San Augustine, Orlando, and other surrounding areas. Um, so I sent in my resume um, and my experience and a few references, and I received word on August 15th that I was hired. I did all the paperwork, submitted all the necessary forms, and in November is when I received my first client. I have worked with probably about 16 clients since I started. I go into their homes, um, figure out what their needs are, assess their needs, figure out what equipment best meets their needs based on their disability and competency levels, and then I order the equipment, and then once I receive the equipment, I return and train them on the equipment for as long as they need. And obviously August of this year will be a year. And then I want to say probably a little bit before Christmas of this past year, I spoke with an individual who was looking for someone to do some consulting in Jacksonville for different equipment or software. Um, named Michael Elliott, and the job title through him is Rehabilitation Assistive Technologist. While I haven't done much work through him yet, it's just the idea that I love technology, anything to do with technology. It has greatly improved my abilities in the college environment and my social environment and my work environment. Technology is what I can fall back on if for some reason teaching does not work out. But since I want to work with specifically special education because I feel that I can give something back to my community. On top of all of that, I also volunteer my time with, I'm sorry, I can't get used to you guys' name. I also volunteer my time with BERC, with the transition kids, with the Foundation for College Success class that has been created. And I am now working on my second semester with them. And I help with the technology, and I try and impress upon the kids the need to be organized. And when you're in college, you know, time management is, you really can't manage time. You can't slow down time, you can't speed up time. You have to figure out what goals you have and figure out if what you're doing aligns with those goals. I brought something with me. I can't remember how many of you have vision or not, but I have a history class this semester, which we're almost done, and I'm holding a notebook, and in this notebook has everything for that class you could possibly imagine, whether it's notes, whether it's work that's been handed back, whether it's a sheet that has grades for throughout the semester. Try and keep organized, communicate, self-advocate for yourselves, because nobody else is going to do it for you. Disability services can send out their memos all they want, but at the end of the day, it's in your hands. You're the one who is in the classroom, nobody else is. If you're having difficulties, my biggest advice is don't keep quiet about it, because 99% of the time, that teacher who you are in front of wants to help you. You may be their first disabled student. I know for one of my professors, last semester, I was her first visually and hearing impaired student. Same thing this semester. If you come to FSCJ, it's an awesome experience. Go talk to your professors before you even start class. That's one of the biggest things that has helped me over the last couple of semesters is I guess you could say I audition my professors to make sure that I'm comfortable with them and that they're comfortable with me, and my combination of needs are able to be met. Um, Even out your time. If that's one thing I don't do well is I don't balance my time or balance my life. I'm on this campus from 8:30 in the morning until 5:30 in the evening, 4 days a week, and 8 to 3 on Fridays. I'm not in the classroom all that time, but I'm working on homework. I'm, doing whatever it is I need to do. If I'm meeting with the professor regarding something that I'm having difficulty with, just communicate. Just, don't keep it to yourself. Use those networks, build that support system, because it will help you if you're thinking about walking away, if you're thinking about giving up. 1 year ago, I would not be standing right here. This semester has been a very trying semester. Trying to figure out what technology in the classroom would be beneficial. Trying to figure out. I want to teach, so I have got to work on my being able to stand up in front of people and talk. I volunteered in my history class to do a presentation on the Cold War, complete with PowerPoint. And while there were a few, problems, mainly with the organization of my material, I was actually able to stand up there and present, which for me is a huge step, because when I started this class, it was very difficult. And I went to the professor and asked him if I could present, because that is something that I struggle with and I need to work on. So if there's things that you have difficulty with, work on them. Do not walk away. If you think you can't do something, if there's one thing that I want you to walk away with, is you can do anything. There may be a few exceptions, like driving. I mean, even though that's coming around thanks to the Google car or whatever. Yeah. But there is nothing you, as a disabled, visually impaired, and in my case, visually and hearing impaired individual, that you cannot do. If you struggle with anxiety, that's even, like me, that's even the more reason to try and do anything you can to conquer those obstacles. And if you need help conquering those obstacles, there are plenty of people who are more than willing to help you. So please, just work hard, and I guarantee you that this time next year you'll probably be standing where I'm standing. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? I'm open for any questions if there's